today because of any, are there any conflicts, Paul or Kevin, that you
Not that I know.
guys are aware of today, just so where we would lose quorum if?
No.
Okay. Okay, great. So good morning. For the record, I'm Chris Young, Chair of the HDC Sign Advisory Committee. Let's confirm access. Members, please respond with an aye when I call your name. Paul Wolf,
Aye.
Kevin Huster,
Aye.
and we have Billy Sad for staff.
Here.
This open meeting of the HDC's SAC is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020. That order, posted with the agenda materials for the meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, which will be available on the town's YouTube channel. We will feature public comment. Materials provided to members for the meeting or provided during the meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on the town's website. Please allow me to introduce the agenda topics and speakers, and remember to mute your Zoom until your name is called. Direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and the taking of minutes easier. And votes will be conducted by roll call. Let's move on. We'll call the meeting to order at 9:05 on April 25th, 2023. Do we have the adoption of our agenda? Anybody want to make a motion for that?
So move.
Second.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Kevin. Paul, you're in favor.
Aye.
And Kevin, you're in favor.
Aye.
I am as well. Thanks. And did you have a chance to review the minutes that were forwarded? Any comments on those or
Motion to
motions?
approve.
Thanks, Kevin.
Motion to
Paul,
approve.
Second.
we have a second. Thanks. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
And I am as well. Are there any commissioners' comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the first order of new business, which is 12 Straight Wharf. I see we have sign here, Nantucket, on the line.
Yes, hello.
Hi there. Would you introduce us to this? We have two applications. This one is for the wall sign. But if they're both related and you want to kind of discuss them, and so we get the whole picture, that would be great.
Sure. So this was actually a projecting sign. It's just incorrectly circled on the application. And so we presented this sign last meeting, and then we're coming back with revisions. So that slide right now is our revision. The first choice obviously would be blue. We changed the design a little bit, but it was mentioned that black would be preferred, so that, you know, that is an option as well. So.
Okay, member comments. Kevin?
Unfortunately, I don't feel like this has gone far enough. I really think it, on this particular building, with the existing signage that's there, I really think it needs to mimic it more. I think the typography is way too contemporary and too jumbled to really, you know, fit the aesthetic of the building. So I think it needs some more major revisions. Thanks.
Okay, Paul?
I don't disagree with Kevin, although I'm not sure that you can say it doesn't meet the guidelines, so.
Right.
So my question is that, I'm sorry I missed the last meeting, but is this a new bracket that's being proposed?
So there is a bracket hole space there because there was, I think further up in the application, I have a picture of it, but it's a Sure Thing was there at one time with a bracket. And so there is space for a bracket. The bracket is just removed because that is no longer there. So there was a double-sided projecting sign there at one time. And so this sign that we're proposing is painted just like the other sign that is there. It's not actually carved. So just something to note.
Got it. And so the other sign is remaining, both signs, the one above the door and the projecting sign.
Yeah, those are still there. Yes.
Got it. And the existing projecting sign that says the same thing as the wall sign? Is that right? If I see that picture, it's just saying Thomas Macy Warehouse.
I'm confused on the question, but
Oh,
there were
yeah, that's,
proposing one.
that-
Yeah,
so that sign says Thomas Macy Gallery, and then this one says the Big Gallery. Are they the same space?
they're in separate spaces and they're unrelated.
Okay. All right, so is there it sounds like Kevin and Paul, you guys are not, well, I don't want to speak for you. Are there any motions that we want to make here? And, our recommendation can always be brought to the board and get their review at the HDC level.
I still feel like, the typography is what's just not working for me with this. It's kind of a jumble of faces, and I think it's almost too contemporary for the space where it's going. It's just unusual. I think Mark probably said it better last week, but I don't see a whole lot of changes from last time other than just a color shift. Anyway, I'm not sure what else to add or start designing it for the applicant, but I don't feel like this really fits.
Yeah, I tend
hoping-
to
I was
agree.
hoping
I
to
think
see-
that I'm wondering if this is under the logo concept, it's more than 15% of the sign. I think that if that's part of what the applicant is trying to do is promote their font and wording as if it were a logo, I think it would have to fall under the 15% rule to be approvable by the guidelines. But I'll go back to the applicant or sign here, the representative. Sure. What's been the thought process? Do you understand where we're coming from with this, the sense that this is one of the most historical buildings in the commercial district?
Yeah, I do understand where you're coming from. The hesitancy about making it super similar is that I don't want someone to think that they are related, because the two galleries are not related. So the AAN would be less than 15% of the sign, and the word big is a serifed font. So I don't know if we could make gallery also a serifed font, and then is that even a logo at that point, because they're just serifed fonts? I mean, we'll make it black, or maybe we'll just change. I don't know. I'm a little stuck here, kind of, about this design.
Right.
I disagree.
So I think, Kevin, if you want to make a recommendation,
I'd like to.
Would it be to hold for revisions, or if there are no revisions that they're asking for, then it would have to be approval or denial recommendation?
I mean, I'd like to try to find a way to help move this along. I think if we work with that typography more, and perhaps at least had the word big all kind of in the same font, or the same case. We've got a capital letter B, a small letter I, and then it looks to be like an italic G. I think I'm not opposed to the thick, thin, bigger serif like that, but it's sort of the juxtaposition of the cases that I think working. I think if we could do that, and also serif gallery, and for for me on this building, I'd like to see the colorway go the same as both the other signs and be black and gold. I understand that they're different entities, but they do go through the same door. And that can get sorted out when they get inside, I think so. I don't know if that helps or not.
Can I make a comment? Can I make a
Pardon?
comment?
Yes, please.
So the one
Yes,
on
please,
the wall,
Sonia.
yeah, the Thomas Macy on the wall is black and white, and the Thomas Macy on the projecting one, that one is black and like a faded gold-ish color. So they are two different colors. But I can talk to the Artists Association and see if they're willing to maybe change big and gallery to make it more of a simple serif font versus versus how it is now. I think that they would be open to changing that for sure. But I did want to point out that one is black and white and one is gold and white. So I don't think black and white is necessarily too crazy of a option for them personally, but definitely open to your feedback for sure.
Yeah, so I would say that having listened to everybody and thinking about the way I see this sign, I would love to see the black and white could work in my opinion, but I think it's really just the font of the word big that's probably, and gallery to the extent that it's not serif, but it's sort of that the way that big is written, it reads as if it's a logo. I think it would cause us a lot of problems with precedent. And so being able to rework that so it's a little bit more traditional, it'll get the message across. It will certainly, read as if it's a different gallery than the Thomas Macy gallery. But I think that's the thing that we're probably affected by here.
Okay, that's fair.
Motion to hold for additions.
Yeah, let me just,
Second.
before we, okay, then we are good to go with that. We'll take a vote. Paul
Aye.
and Kevin.
Aye.
Okay, I'm in favor as well. Thanks for working with us on this.
Okay, there is a master sign plan as well. I don't know if you want to review that or hold that because we're holding an application from the previous meeting as well for a different sign, a banner. So I don't know if you want to wait on that, but.
Let's review that now. I think that'll be helpful for future reviews. So.
Mr. Chair, just a point of order.
Yes.
They didn't adjust anything with the master sign plan. They had submitted it for last meeting, and I just figured I'd throw it up there since one of the signs was changing and it could be adjusted based on that.
Okay, so can we just see so they applied for it at the last meeting, but did it get approved at the last meeting?
No, neither signs were approved, so the master sign plan wasn't approved.
Got it. Let's review the master sign plan because it shouldn't really affect the design of the signs shouldn't affect the outcome of the master sign plan review if we can approve the theory of these signs being where they are.
I think, Mr. Chair, I think that the reason it's kind of been held off is that there was a bit of contention with placing a banner on the side of the building. I don't think anyone had any issue with the two projecting signs on the front. However, there was quite a bit of conversation about placing a banner on the side. So I'm not sure if there were any revisions made to it or if it's just the same as last issue, or I don't know if that
That's
helps.
what I was trying to say, is that we're not prepared for this meeting for the banner review. We were going to hold it another meeting, so that's what I was trying to.
Then I'll make a motion to hold the master sign plan to track with the other signs.
Second.
All right, and Kevin, you're in favor.
Aye.
Paul, you're in favor.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Billy, what do we have next? We have Cambridge Street Kits on the line. Kit, would you like to introduce us to this application?
Sure will. Good morning. Thank you all. First of all, I want to apologize for the PDF, which HDC did for me. So I noticed the color didn't come through on the actual sign, but I did include a color there. Yep. And I don't know exactly how the color thing works with you guys, but I have a Benjamin Moore color of nature's reflection, which is just a mossy green. Is the background. Anyway, this building is formerly Sweet Inspirations. They had an existing sign right where I'm proposing putting my sign. I think there's even a couple of close-ups. So that sign post is already there, or the support, I should say. I actually purchased a similar but different hanger for the sign. Yep. And then the last page there, some other galleries. What I would consider similar graphics for the sign, same size, 24 by 24. Anything else I need to?
No, is there a second sign that will be used over the door?
No. That says Zero India. I think that's just part of the building. I assume it's been there since they built it. There potentially could be something in the window. I may not need that once the sign's hanging outside.
Okay, great. Anything that is in the window just need to be brought through
I also
as
did a
sign.
mock-up. It may help with the color. I don't know.
Okay. Great. All right, thanks for that. Let's start the review with Paul.
Thank you. I think the color is fine. I think the sign is fine. I would caution, I think you started to say something, Chris, that any other additional signs would have to be applied, including what's in the window or what may go in the window. So I don't have any problem with it.
Great, Kevin.
I have no issues with the sign itself. I am concerned about the lighting. It looks like it was probably existing, but I think in this case it is a real blatant violation of uplighting. So I would like to request that at the very least we not approve the lighting. I'm not sure if we're in a position to have it removed, but that's an issue for me. Other than that, I'm okay with the sign.
Okay, great. Kit, do you have anything that you can say about the lighting? Is it possible to, we're worried about uplighting in particular. This lighting seems to be.
That was existing. It actually doesn't even work. It's pretty corroded. I wasn't planning on using it, but I agree, just visually, it's not very pleasing. And I'm happy to talk to the building owner about that. From my understanding, the building was sold and I think they're gonna renovate the whole thing next year. So I'm sure that's gonna come down anyway. I can't imagine they would keep old lighting on the side of the building. So I don't think that'll be a problem to get rid of.
Okay, great, thanks. And what I was starting to say about the other signage in the windows, and especially given that you pointed out some other galleries, we do see window signage in particular show up, whether it's applied lettering or posters that are put just inside the glass. Right. So those are considered signs. So just be careful as far as, putting up additional signage without getting approval, so that you don't get put onto the violation list there for that.
Sure. Presently,
sounds like this sign.
I was going to say, presently, I don't have any indoor signage planned. I'm just thinking if I'd have a special show, or bring in a different artist for the gallery, that would maybe be the place to put his or her name, just, for a week or so while they're showing their work. But that's something I'd have to get approved.
Temporary signage, there's a few different, if you read the sign book, it kind of defines what constitutes signage and what requires an application. So
okay,
it's hard to say definitively what. So do we have a motion here?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the sign as submitted without the lighting.
Second,
Okay, and Kevin, you're in favor?
Aye.
Paul, you're in favor?
aye.
All right, I am as well. So thank you, Kit. Realize it's kind of funny that I'm asking for everybody to be in favor of their motions, but just have to follow a process there.
Mr.
Kit, you're
Chair,
all set.
sorry, Mark Cutone has.
So
he's
without
on
lighting means do not, Billy, go ahead.
Mark Cutone is
Oh,
on
I'm
the
sorry, I
meeting.
missed
Sorry
that.
about
Mark
that.
Catone, are you present?
Yes.
All right, let me just have it. Mark, we're gonna have you join us after this application. I'm sorry that I've already motioned and approved
Yeah, no
it.
problem.
So, welcome. Okay, so Kit is all set.
All right, thank you for your help, everyone.
What's our next applications? Thank you, Kit.
Oh,
All right, so we're on to 7A South Water, and do we have a representative on the line for that?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
All right, so what do we have?
So
that you're applying
we,
for today?
we have our business PBX events here at 7 South Water Street, and we're just expanding to do, a grab and go pastry shop in part of the main front space here. So we just wanted to add this sign here so that people knew that it existed, basically. It's going to be the same color, same font as our existing sign. It's just like that additional hanging part that says Patisserie.
Okay, Mark, you've just joined us. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I don't know that I have a significant, is there any change to the event sign above from what?
Yep, the event sign is existing. So it's really just that additional hanging rectangle.
And what's the height of that to the sidewalk, from the underside of that to the sidewalk?
I know we measured this. I don't have it in front of me.
It would need to comply.
I know
with the
I know we talked it
height
through with
restriction.
but I can measure it out and let you know. What's the exact restriction?
What do we, Chris, 6?
Well, I'm actually worried, unfortunately, that I don't think a hanging sign is, I think it's
Gonna go anywhere?
prohibited by the guidelines. Yeah, I'm gonna just look up in the sign book, but there's only one instance that I'm aware of in town that is grandfathered, that's Mitchell's, to have a hanging sign. So
I saw a different hanging sign that wasn't Mitchell's yesterday, actually. So
okay, well, doesn't necessarily
mean
mean it's
anything
approved.
necessarily.
Likely on Center Street.
Okay,
So their other option would be to,
I think add it to the existing sign would be
yeah.
possible.
Any reason yeah, exactly what Chris just described. Could that verbiage not be applied to the
No,
the
we can
existing sign
add
at
it
the
to
bottom?
we can definitely add it to the existing sign. We just thought it made sense because it's not necessarily the same thing that the hanging sign kind of, it is, but it isn't, you know what I mean? I didn't know that rule, so I just felt like in general, it made sense to have it hanging as kind of something the same but different, I guess.
Yeah, I think depending on what Chris is about to impart, I suspect that's where this is going to go, that there'll be a preference from the SAC to see that just simply applied to the existing sign versus adding more to the signage itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's instances, if you go up Broad Street, for example, there's Mitchell or
Bookworks.
We gotta get Chris a better line.
with But same thing across. Sorry, are you guys able to hear me?
No,
No,
Oh, okay. I was saying, I think that there's examples
No,
on Broad Street of where businesses have combined. I'm not sure why I'm failing here. Let me see if I take out.
that's worse.
It's worse. I guess I'll have to hand over. If you can hear me, I'll
No,
hand
you're
over
fine.
to Kevin.
you're fine now.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. So I was saying up on Broad Street, there's examples of, businesses where they've combined their projecting signs, multiple businesses successfully. So I think that would be the best approach here. And being able to put the patisserie, if I pronounce that correctly, onto the PPX sign seems to make sense.
Okay, so do I need to submit, or can we agree that if we just put that lettering below it, that would be good?
ideally we get
I
a new
think-
graphic. I don't know if we want
Right.
to submit, can we submit that through staff, Chris?
I think we could, if it's just putting that font right, so, below PPX, whether it's, I think that could go through staff. Does anybody else have a problem with that? Kevin?
I just need a little clarification to make sure that I understand. What I think you're talking about is to simply attach the patisserie sign underneath the PBX sign, which I'm fine with. However, I think it should be the same dimension width and not be smaller.
I actually thought they were going to modify the existing sign and simply paint that word onto this signage, not apply, which I'd prefer to see. So they're just adding patisserie to the
Onto the
existing
existing
sign,
sign.
not the
Yeah.
placard, just
Oh, okay.
letter it on.
I got it. Thanks
think
for
it's
clarifying that. Yeah, I got it now. Thanks for clarifying. I'm okay with that as well.
Okay, Paul, do you have any comments?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, so we can recommend staff approval. So we would just ask that you submit that to staff. It could go to the meeting tonight for approval, but
Okay.
wouldn't be officially approved until staff saw the revised graphic.
Okay,
So go ahead, Kevin.
I was gonna make a motion to approve adding the word patisserie to the PPX events sign.
Second,
Okay, Mark, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Kevin
Aye.
and Paul?
aye.
Okay, I am as well. Great. Thank you for working with us on
Yep.
that.
thank you.
All right, 158 Pulpus Road, Egan Maritime. Is anybody on the line to represent this? Billy, do you?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am on the line, Carlisle Jensen, Executive Director, as well as Renee, and she's gonna do the speaking.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just
Renee,
having
do
a
you-
little, yep, I'm here. Renee Seeley, Administrative Manager of Egan Maritime. And again, Carlisle introduced herself. So of course, we are now the owners of the Nantucket Shipwreck and Lifesaving Museum. And we've had some artifacts, exhibits that have been outside of the museum for many years, but they were never labeled. So people never knew what their historic, what their history was, what the story behind them was. So we just wanted to add some labels, like little plaques that would be, just on a 4x4 post, just very low to the object itself or to the artifact itself, explaining what it is. And you have that information. And we did like size, yeah, there you go. So it'll be 6 inches by 6 inches. It'll be a light gray background with black lettering. And again, they're going to be quite small and probably not exceed 18 inches from the ground on that post. It's our understanding that the reason we would have to come before you, the sign committee, to even call these signs was not because the size itself is exempt, but it's the number that we're proposing, of which we have 4. I don't know if you want to start with the master plan, because the colored dots you see there, 1 through 4, are where we want, or where there are existing artifacts outside that we want to have these labels prepared. And then you can see A, B, and C on the master plan. Those are pre-existing signs that have been there since the beginning of the museum. The one you're looking at right there now is a very new sign that was just recently approved by you and just recently applied to the building. And the only change to the existing sign was we added Egan Maritime Institute to that. And actually, that's a markup from the application. You can see the E is missing, but now it's the sign is intact with an E. The other sign you just showed, the life-saving, yeah, that one. That one's been on the building since 1972 when it was built. So we don't know that it's ever had an approval. It's been one of those pre-existing kind of signage that I don't know when predates HDC. I'm not sure. So, but we included it because there it is, and it's a sign that tells, it's a historic sign, and it tells you exactly what the building is, or was a replica of. Okay, and then there's the rock. The rock's been there too. Carlisle might have more history of the rock, but there it is. It's right at the entrance or the intersection of Old Popus Road with Popus Road.
Okay, thanks.
Is that any, yeah.
Yeah, and we're familiar with this site. We've been receiving applications through the years. So thanks for presenting all this. Let me start with Kevin. We'll go Kevin, Paul, Mark on this.
Yeah, my biggest concern is we don't have all the signs for this facility on the master sign plan. And specifically, every year there's a banner that gets hung on the inside of the door that is never applied for, and isn't in keeping with our guidelines. Also, there's another entrance sign, which I'm assuming is the main entrance, another rock, and there are numerous parking signs. I'm not sure how many. And at one time there was a series of higher metal posts that kind of went up in a row along the east side of the building overlooking the marsh. I don't know if they're still included or not. I think as far as the 4 signs that you're applying for, the 6x6 ones, I understand that it's a plexiglass surface. I think that's okay at this particular scale. However, I'd like to see it be like a matte finish and not a shiny finish. But overall, my biggest concern is I don't want to be approving a master sign plan where a lot of the signs are missing, some of which are in violation. So that's my comments. Thank you.
Can I
right.
answer some of that?
Renee,
You want to come back to me?
let me come back to you. Let me just have
Okay.
Paul and then Mark speak, and we'll come back to you. Thanks. Paul?
I don't have any problems with the signs that are being applied for.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
I'm somewhere between. I probably don't necessarily have a problem with what's being applied for, but I think maybe that share some of Kevin's concerns about really having a full understanding of all the signage on the property at this point. I know there's been some creep here. It's got a lot. It's sort of it's a campus property, so properties like this typically do have multiple signs. But maybe if there was a more comprehensive presentation of such, might be useful for us to be able to weigh in on this request. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Renee, before you speak, I'll say the same, is that, realizing that Egan Maritime has stepped into this, we have a history with the museum and this site dealing with sign violations that were signs put up without approval or requesting approval, and then signs that were applied for that, we've some approved, some denied through the years. So you guys have sort of stepped into something that we have experience with, and maybe you don't. So just giving you some context there. But let me go back to you, Renee. You wanted to address.
Yes.
the comment.
Starting with Kevin's comments, the other rock is a location rock. It says 158 Pulpus Road. Those addresses everyone has in front of their home, their driveway. It's meant for 911 to find you in the case of an emergency. It's so I don't know that it's very different than what everyone else has, that approval isn't required. But if you want us to add it to the master plan, it's been there forever. I think we're more than happy to do that. With regard to the posts along the marsh, they're not there. They were taken down, I guess, when someone had on the HDC expressed concern about them. So they were taken down immediately. The no parking signs, we took them all down too. We don't like them either. So I was going through there the other day and found we missed one because we just recently took them all down. We're going to take that down. So we don't want the no parking part of our master plan because we don't feel that they're necessary either. Although one of the no parkings, it's on the public way. It's on the old Pulpus Road. I don't know if the town would like to see that sign there, but as far as the museum, we won't take ownership of it, put it that way. And Carlisle, correct me if anything I said is wrong, because you might have more familiarity with the history than I do.
Yeah,
so as far as the
absolutely.
master, oh, go ahead, Carlisle, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, my internet is very unstable, so I hope I don't cut out. I think that Renee and I are presenting a master plan for the signs that we intend to have from 2023 on. We realize that there were violations in the past, but we're moving forward, trying to make sure that we are in compliance. I joined the organization last year, and we've made some significant changes to the property. And we really just want to make sure that the property is, one, in compliance, and two, that everyone who comes is able to enjoy and learn from the property. The banner, we are not sure if we are doing a banner this year. If we are, we'll come and get approval for said banner. The parking signs, they were old and kind of gross looking, so we took them down. We really just want to make sure that we have informational signs on the property that are in compliance. Everyone knows the Eagan Maritime Shipwreck and Lifesaving Museum and how to access the museum.
Okay, thank you. Let me
Can I just add one, again, the informational plaques, I'm going to call them that, or labels, really are for the education and more outdoor enjoyment of our visitors, instead of just looking at something that may be rusty. For us and for them, it's called rusty gold because they have great history behind them, and that's why we really would like to present to the public and again, all of our visitors, what you're looking at is of very historic significance.
Okay, thank you. I'll open it back up to the commissioners or the members to reply. We'll just go in the same order. Kevin, Paul, Mark. Kevin.
Thank you for those comments. Those were all very helpful. I'm glad to see it get cleaned up. Based on those comments, I have no concerns.
Okay, Paul.
Neither do I, so I make a motion, we approve.
Okay, Mark, did you have any comment or you want to make a second?
Just my only comment would be I do appreciate their cleaning up the previous signage mentioned, and I would make a motion or a second to Paul's motion, please.
Great. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
And Mark?
Aye.
And I echo everyone's sentiments. Thanks for helping clean the site up, and good luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is the same application, Billy?
So they have basically four
Oh,
identical
four.
applications. Each
Okay.
each post is going to have, its own individual
Understood.
informational portion.
All right, let's just make it official. Would somebody like to make a motion for sign number 2?
Is it possible to just note that
What?
the plexiglass should be a matte finish, so we don't have glare. I don't know what.
And just a point of order, Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
there's 4 signs, so do signs 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so we're requesting matte finish. So why don't we say sign, Kevin, do you want to make a motion for sign 1?
1 through 4.
Can we do 1 through 4 together, Billy? Or do you want?
Yeah, you can do all of them together, and I can put the
Okay.
same condition on of a matte plexiglass finish.
Okay, so the motion is for 1 through 4 to be approved with a matte plexiglass finish. Do we have a second?
Second,
And Mark, are you in favor?
Aye, yes.
And
Aye.
and Paul?
aye.
Takes care of those 4. Is that the end of the signs on the agenda, Billy? Are we on to it?
Yes, yep, that's the end of the signs on the agenda.
Sorry, I'm having connectivity problems as well right now. Does that take care of the new applications?
Yes, all the new
Yes,
applications
okay.
have been heard.
Great, thanks. So enforcement, any update on that?
I had sent out a couple violation letters for some pictures that Paul had sent me. One's a pool sign on Matticat Road, and also there was a chalkboard sign over at Saltbox. So I got those out. I have not made it out to the airport yet, but it is on my list of things to do. It's just that's going to be a little bit more time consuming to go out there and get pictures of all the signs and review that file.
Okay, thank you. Any other signs that Commissioner?
Yeah.
Mark?
One, Chris, that I've been meaning to mention for a while is there large red circular sale signs that have been applied. I think they're decals to the windows. And I believe it's Erica Wilson's shop on Main Street. I don't know if Kevin, you've
Okay.
noticed those in
I haven't
town.
seen those.
Yeah, they're probably 20 inches or more around. There's maybe 2 to 3 of them applied to the picture windows as you're walking along. They've been there for a while. It's not been like a 1 week thing. They've had a sale for at least a month now, I think. So if you need more, or if I'm in town today, I'll take a pic and send it along to you, Billy.
Yeah, if you can ever just take a photo and send
Yeah.
it to me, it can speed the process up significantly for me.
Let me see if I can try and do that today.
I've got a few photos for you also, Billy, and maybe for the rest of you just to be aware. I'm not sure what the address is, but across from Current Vintage and the entrance to Old North Wharf, we have our first seasonal display of fake flowers. And I really think we need to address it. So I'll send a photograph in.
Okay.
I saw that too late last week.
Okay, we're gonna have to bring that up with the HDC. I think that got kicked up to their level, and then
Yeah, where did we
that's
finally
right.
land on that after all that?
and honestly, it ended up on their desk, and then our status got interrupted. So I don't know. I think I got lost in the confusion of getting the subcommittees reset. So
Right.
we should probably request guidance from the board if that's still in our court, or if it's up at their level. Billy, can you?
I was going to
ask
say
them?
that's something I can talk with Esmeralda about, and we could potentially add it as an agenda item for obviously not tonight's HDC meeting, but possibly next week or the following new business meeting. And obviously we'll have to email that to the chair of the HDC and get his take on it before it gets added to the agenda.
Yeah, please do. I think that we were asked to hold the public hearings and submit our recommendations, which we did. And then I don't think it went very far after that due to the issues last summer. So,
Okay, well, I can follow up on that and at least, update you all with an email.
Yeah, I think it would also be helpful, Billy, to attach town council's letter from a year or two ago, which basically covers that jurisdiction.
Okay,
Because I'm sure they're gonna wonder what we have jurisdiction over or not, and that's pretty clear.
okay.
all right. There were some emails going around about a possible preliminary review. Billy, is that going to be at a future meeting?
Yeah, I was planning on
Okay.
putting it on our next meeting. The problem with that was the agenda was already posted prior to those emails, of me receiving those emails, so we couldn't adjust the agenda.
Okay, so we'll see that on the next agenda.
Yep. But I'm just gonna put it as a discussion item, so they can get some feedback from the sign council.
Yeah, I think just for everybody else's information, it's regarding the Sconset footpath. So anybody who happens to be out that way can just peruse around and see what's going on. But that's what the discussion item is. We'll do that next week or 2 weeks.
Great. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Any other motions? I can think of one in particular. Somebody's got to make it.
Motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Thank you, Paul. Kevin, you're seconding that? All right, thanks, Mark.
Yeah,
Kevin, you in
second.
favor? Mark? Paul?
Aye.
I am as well. Billy, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Thanks, guys.
So long. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.